My fragrance collection would not feel complete if I didn't have these in it. And so this is gonna look different for everybody, you know? So I wanna hear from you before you even watch the video. Like, type up a comment down below. What are some notable must-haves that you own that just complete your collection? You know, if one day you woke up and you didn't have those, you lost them, somebody took them from you, stole, you wouldn't feel like your collection was complete. Let me know what those would be down below. It could be 1, 3, 5, 10, 20, whatever. And these are just some of mine. Again, some of them. You know, this collection is just already way beyond anything that is ever realistic and something that makes sense, right? So there are many more that I feel like I need to have, but do I really? Probably not, but these are definitely some that I really do want to have around for a long time. Some a bit newer, some a bit older, just depends. And with the constant flow of new releases coming into my collection and really nothing else going out of it, it's bound to change, but these are kind of what I'm really loving right now. So I'm gonna link all these down below to discounters. If you're looking for full bottles, you can, you know, save a lot of money off of retail. If you're looking to try before you buy, check out my website, decantcenter.com, first link down below. And I'm gonna have a few of these up on there right now. I don't have all of these in this video up on the website yet to Decant, but we're working towards it. We're adding new products every day, and so make sure you keep checking back. Let's go with Dior Homme Intense to start off with. Now, this is just kind of an iconic one for me. It was a big leap, really, when I first got this one in, and it was a sample first. This was not a blind buy. It was a sample, okay? And that was because I was pretty much convinced I wasn't gonna like it. But I was hearing so much about it, I'm like, okay, I have to know what this smells like because I can't get away from it. Every video, every article I would read, Dior Homme Intense was in there, so I had to try it. And as I mentioned, this was very early on, you know, when I was first starting out, and my love at that time was basically freshies and aquatics. That was it. I wasn't touching any of the heavier, sweeter stuff, but I wanted to kind of, you know, broaden my horizons a little bit. So I got that sample in. It was like an 8 ml, you know, decant. And it was a surprise because I really enjoyed it and I was not expecting to at all. In fact, I thought I wasted my money even trying it. And so fast forward years and years later, you know, I've had full bottles of it for a long time. It's been one that has gotten heavy use out of me in the fall and winter months. It's just a favorite of mine. It's got iris, lavender, ambrette, a little bit chocolatey, sweet, dusty, powdery with a little bit of an aromatic freshness, although that part's definitely not the focus. The focus is the sweet, creamy, and powdery iris. And so given the way that this one is kind of presented, you know, not everybody's gonna like it. So depending on what you like already, a blind buy might not be the best idea unless you're into things like this, and then it might make sense to you, right? So just one way or another, at least try it some way, even if it's going into a store and smelling it in person. Just get an understanding of what it smells like because you're never gonna be able to get away from this stuff. But for me, it makes my collection what it is today. This next one is Amouage Reflection Man 45 Extrait. So I've been a really big fan of the original Eau de Parfum for a long time. It's one of the most classy and refined, expensive and luxurious smelling fragrances that I have, you know, and the original, but also this one especially. It's a men's white floral, and it's so premium smelling. I don't know why, and I don't know what it is about this stuff, but it just really is. And I've got some fragrances that are much more expensive than the Eau de Parfum, and some that are even more expensive than this. But as far as actual scent representation and how this one makes me feel and the type of, you know, image that it conjures up when I smell this is like high class, just as premium smelling as it gets for me. And so it's definitely something that you would wear for more formal and dressed up situations when you want to be taken more seriously. You could wear it in a casual scenario, but really, what's the point? If you don't find yourself in formal situations all that much, then maybe you would be wearing it casually a lot. And really, that's probably more or less what I do as well. I mostly wear it for my own enjoyment, even when I'm just at home. I just like to smell it, right? It's just a really, really good release. I think the Extrait version here is a lot better than the original, but that does come with a much higher price tag. Retails for $500. Discounters typically in the $300, low $300 range. Every now and then you'll get lucky and you can get it for $220 is the lowest I've seen it. FragranceNet had it, and I sent out an email. That thing sold out quick because that's just unheard of. So make sure you're on my mailing list too. I'll get you hooked up with the best deals when stuff like that is very uncommon. But if you can try this one out one way or another, get it. It makes my collection complete, and I love it. But if you didn't want to spend this much anyway, the Eau de Parfum is still incredible, and there's nothing wrong with that one. Definitely give that one a shot too. Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Platine Privé. What a beauty of a fresh take on this original DNA. So the almond is still in here with a bit of grapefruit and bergamot, and that's just kind of brightening it up and giving it more of a summer feeling, even though when you look at the bottle, it's kind of that dark opaque, is that the word or something? Where it's a little bit see-through, but not fully, you know, just that darker color bottle. It looks like more of a winter scent, you know, kind of looks like old bottles of L'Homme Ideal Intense or L'Intense, one of the two. It's the same, but they've changed the name a little bit over the years as well. Looks like that, right? Old bottles, but it's not anything like that. Again, this is going to be, right now, as far as end production-wise, the freshest of the line. At one point, this DNA was L'Homme Ideal Cologne, and then came out cool for just like a year, if even that, maybe 2 years, but a very, very limited run on the cool version. Both of those are gone. Now we just have Platine Privé. And even this one is marketed as a limited edition as well, so this won't be around forever either. Definitely get it before it's too late. For me, it's a no-brainer. I love having this fresher take on this DNA. Less important right now as we're heading into fall and winter time. I'm going to be wearing the Extreme, the Eau de Parfum, and the New Parfum. But spring and summer use, this one is just, it's a dream to wear. Nice, creamy, and bright fresh, a little bit of a nutty almond. It's a great scent. Next up, we have Hugo Boss The Scent Absolute. There are quite a few in this line now, so you have a bit to choose from. It can be a little bit challenging to figure out what one you should go for. And really, they're all good, you know? So it kind of comes down to, what are you wanting to spend? And then also, what focus are you trying to go towards? Because some are more expensive than others, and some are more budget friendly. And this one is, at least from what I've seen online, it's usually on the lower end, and some of the newer ones are still going to be $80, $90 or so, which isn't bad, but you can get them for a little bit less sometimes. Now this one does have the Maninka fruit focus with the really nice vetiver and ginger combination as well. I really like Private Accord, which is discontinued, but that one had a really nice coffee note. The new magnetic version, or newer magnetic version, has a wheat kind of bran note, which makes it really unique and distinct. The original, you can't beat that one. It's great. Le Parfum has a bit of iris. So again, there's a lot to choose from, and I'm missing some as well. So just kind of poke around, check out the note breakdowns, and just see which one catches your attention and give it a try, because they're all unique in their own way. We're gonna go for a Rabanne scent up next. We have Pure XS, and you know, it looks kind of boring on paper maybe, or maybe you might think that way, but it's so good. This is so much better than you might expect it to be, and it's one that has grown on me a ton over the years. It's got sugar, myrrh, nice liquor note in here, and then a whole bunch more. I'm missing a lot, but you're getting hit with sweet notes, fresh kind of bubbly notes, and then boozy accords, and then like vanilla and tonka bean, and just a whole bunch of stuff. It's like everything in the kitchen sink type of deal. And what I like so much about this is the fact that you get all of that. So it almost opens up with a bit of a cola, kind of bubbly, fizzy soda texture, which I love, and my favorite part is the opening. I can experience that all day. Really nice, fizzy, creamy, sweet and bubbly, and then right away, even after it's been in the air for a couple of seconds, it starts to get a little bit more heavy and rich and sweeter, starting to get more of the vanilla and some of the boozy accords and just some of that sugary sweetness going on. It really goes through more changes than you might expect for a scent from Paco Rabanne, and also for a scent in this price range. 100 ml testers with cap for a little bit under $50. Standard presentation in the mid $50 range. I mean, there's nothing expensive about this stuff. It's very reasonable, very unique for what it is. And Pure XS Night is amazing, and it's one of my favorites. That one's discontinued, so I'm not going to feature it. But I will say, if you can ever get your hands on a bottle of Pure XS Night, do it. You know, as long as you're not paying a completely crazy price, you know, if you can get it for $100 or so, $110 maybe, it's worth every penny. Okay, we're gonna go for a new Guerlain fragrance up next. So they're kind of making a big appearance here in this video. It's Patchouli Paris. So like I said, this is brand new as of this year. Got patchouli, aldehydes, some ambergris, and then some iris. But really, I mean, and no surprise, it's all about the patchouli, and it's a fantastic take on patchouli. It's not necessarily too green. It's not too earthy. Overall, the scent, I find it to be on the smoother, sweeter side. But then it's interesting because you get notes like aldehydes and ambergris, which the aldehydes would give it a bit of an airy, lighter, slightly fresher feeling and more texture. And then the ambergris, typically used in freshy aquatics. It's the signature note in all of the Creed fragrances, which a lot of them are fresh. And then blue fragrance, ambrox, and all that stuff. So that kind of alludes to a bit of a fresh, kind of bubbly nature as well. And then iris buried later on in the dry down, adding to that sweet touch as well. Really, really nice composition overall. I love the presentation on these. One cool little touch is this is actual like string right here. Oh boy, can't even see it. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to get up close, but the cap is wrapped in the string and it actually moves like it's real. They wrapped it around there. Pretty cool. Really love the color of the liquid as well. Kind of a nice, I don't know, what would you call that? Reddish, slightly pinkish color. Really, really cool. And then you got the Guerlain logo on the back. Love the presentation. Next up, we have Prada Luna Rossa Black. Another one that is definitely not for everybody. And we definitely think twice before jumping right into this one, you know, because it's powdery, it's dusty, it's powdery, a lot of tonka, a lot of amber. That's really all it is. You know, this would be something that you would try first, you know, go into a department store and give it a try and just see if you like it, because a lot of people will not, you know, just being upfront. I think, you know, blind buys a lot of the time could make sense, especially on the fresher aquatic scents and on more affordable, you know, cheaper fragrances. It might make sense to do that. But there are certain ones that it wouldn't, and this is one of them, and I've always been open about that. Not going to be something everybody likes because it's not a masculine smelling cologne, right? It's not what you would expect a cologne to smell like. A lot of people would equate this to being like more of a woman's fragrance just with how powdery it is. So, you know, not for everybody. For me, I like it. Love the tonka bean. Big fan of it. And the amber to go along with it to give it a bit of a smooth sweetness works really well. It's great for fall, great for winter. Nice quality. The only issue with this one is the performance is not amazing by today's standards, which we're just kind of accustomed to expecting, you know, 12, 14-hour scents for whatever reason, because a lot of them out there are. But there are also quite a few that aren't. And some of these older releases and lower concentrations just don't hold up. This is one of them, but it still gets the job done. Just for those really, really cold, brutal winter days, it just doesn't have the power to really, you know, project and just perform good in those situations. We're running down to the end. We're going to finish it with two fresher scents just for good measure, right? Because we still have got some sunny and 85 to 90 degree days coming up this week. Really bizarre. So, you know, we're going to finish out with a bang. Summer is hanging on by a thread. Acqua di Gio Parfum is a absolute must-have and absolute staple in my collection. Without Acqua di Gio Profumo / Parfum, I just wouldn't feel happy. And also, if I had never gotten Acqua di Gio Profumo, I really don't think my collection would be where it's at today, because that was one of those like pillar scents that kept me hooked and kept me interested so much to the point that I kept going. I kept putting out videos. I kept, you know, exploring and trying more. It really excited me and it kept me in the game. It's been a signature scent of mine for years. I love this stuff, and so I'll always have it around. It's just super wearable. I mean, there's nothing that you couldn't use it for. We're going to end this video with John Varvatos Artisan Aqua. It's got pomelo, orange, fir resin, lavender, and a ton of other notes. There's a lot going on. Go look at the full note breakdown. It is sizable. You know, this was back in the old days when, I don't know, it just felt like they took a bit more pride. Not just John Varvatos. A lot of these brands, they've just, things are different now. Not how I remembered them 7 or 8 years ago. But I love this one. Just a really nice, fresh, kind of spring, green, aromatic, spring, summer scent, essentially. You know, just a fresher scent for the warmer times of the year. It's relatively soft in terms of how it presents itself. It's a softer performer too. And again, things were much different back when this was being released. We weren't in the world of beast mode sweet scents at that time, but there's just something nostalgic about this one that I love and will always have around. These older school John Varvatos fragrances, and I'm talking like this, Dark Rebel Rider, and things like John Varvatos Vintage, and you know, just those are probably just some of the best designer fragrances out there in a time period that is no longer. I mean, really, really good work there. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. Some of my essential fragrances that I need to have to make my collection feel complete. Like I said, I'll link all of these down below to discounters if you want to shop full bottles. I'll also point you over to my website where you could purchase some samples or some decants of a couple of these that are in here, but then we have a wider selection over there as well of things that just didn't make it in this video. Like I said, we're adding to it every day. So if you don't see anything you like right now where you're waiting for this or that, it will get there eventually. We've got some of the best prices around. We're not price gouging. We're not doing crazy stuff. So if you really want to try before you buy and get some samples, go check us out. Again, some of the best prices, really fast shipping, free sample in every order, all of that good stuff. We've spent a lot of time on the website trying to give you a smooth, seamless experience when it comes to exploring and shopping and all the way through checkout. So it's a really pain-free process. Make sure you go give us a try if you don't want to drop money up front on a full bottle. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.